Hey guys. Okay, y'all. Sorry. I swear I was watching this episode of Hoarding. Yeah, Hoarding. And I thought I had like 20 more minutes. My hubby was like, come on, it's 7:29. Come on. I was like, oh crap. Let's see. Hey Ken, thanks for staying awake for us. Hey Dee Dee. Hey Julia. Aw, that's awesome, Julia. I'm sorry you had to go through all that crap. It's been a nightmare, hasn't it? Hey Pat. Hey CPO. Who else? I think I said, hey you. I love that. Hey you. Hey Michelle. Hey Tiki Tutu. Hey guys.
Everybody's got to come up with a name for everybody.
No,
like
you don't want to do that. I don't like that.
They do. They don't care what you think.
I know, but I don't like that. Okay, so yeah, it's been a week, y'all. It's been a week. I'm grateful that it's Friday and that I made it this far because it has been a week. Wow, hey you, that sucks. Do you know for a fact that it's evil? I mean, how do you, like, you know? I mean, a lot of times spirits can come off being evil when really they're just like trying to get your attention. You know what I mean? Oh, really, Ken? Did y'all see that? I guess YouTube's having a problem. Michelle, you're Margaret's friend. Hey, Michelle. Hey. Want some 99 bananas with me? You mean like 99-cent bananas? Or I don't know what that means. Oh, it's lovely to meet you too, Michelle. Hey, you. Okay, let me just say this. You know, how do I say this? A lot of times things come through on the spirit boxes, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's connected to you. And I'm not doubting you whatsoever. Trust me. I would be the last person that would doubt you. Trust me. But I think you probably need to just, I don't know, email me or something, because that would be, you know, a lot easier. I mean, it's the only problem if you have like a evil spirit attached to you. It's really hard to do it, to take care of it remotely. You know what I mean? I mean, there's some things that you can do, but if it's been going on for 2 years, I'm sure you've probably already tried those things.
I'm going outside with the dog.
Okay, honey. Oh, great. Now the cat's going to go on. So my cat, y'all, she sits by the front door and screams at the top of her lungs whenever my hubby takes the dog out. She sits there and wails. You know, she sounds like a little child screaming, and she just screams at the top of her lungs and cries until he comes back. You know, and let me tell you, she's a better attack dog than our dog is. The other day, I guess we think our doorbell is just intermittently not working. So the other day, the cat comes flying in our bedroom. It was like, I don't know, 9 o'clock at night. She comes flying in our bedroom growling. Our cat growls. It's hysterical. And I know, you know, by now that anytime she does that, it's because somebody rang the doorbell. So sure enough, someone had rang the doorbell. The dog didn't move. The cat comes running in the room growling. She's such a good attack cat. Oh, Dee Dee, I get you. It's a drink. I have my, cheers, unsweet iced tea, y'all. Still struggling, not having my diet ginger ale, and it's about to kill me. But I think I'm going on like 6-7 weeks, something like that. So I figure, why throw it all away now, you know? Okay, hey you. Like I said, you need to email me. I can try to help you, but it is hard remotely to help if in fact it's, an evil spirit or a maleficent spirit, malevolent. Oh my God, I can't even talk today. I can't think, I can't talk. This week has been horrible, y'all. I've had the worst week. Okay, y'all, so years ago, I had a doctor say that I had fibromyalgia, right? And I didn't believe it. I thought it was just a coverall BS, term that they said because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. But today I was in the grocery store. Yes, I ventured out to the grocery store because I've been putting it off for 4 or 5 days and I was completely out of everything. So literally, I was in there for probably 20 minutes and I was crying by the time I got to the checkout. My legs were aching so bad. I've never had that kind of pain before. It was just like this horrible, like achy pain. And so I was really struggling. I got through the checkout. I got out to my truck and it was like, I'm not kidding. It was all I could do to physically get the sacks and put them in the truck. And I called hubby on the way home and I was just like, because I had planned on stopping and getting us something to eat. And I called him and I was just like, look, I can't do this. I'm in too much pain. And he was like, no, just come home. Don't worry. So anyway, and then I've had some other, they called, the doctor's office called my son and said, we need you to come back in right away. He went to his doctor's last week and apparently his blood work was bad and they're really worried. And so, of course, they get my son on the phone and he's like, well, what does this mean? What could this be? And they're like, oh, it could be cancer. You could be in liver failure. It could be, I forget all the things. So I'm like, oh my God, you don't tell, a young guy like that, he's lost so many family members to cancer, the very worst thing you can do is say that to him, so of course he was freaked out, which freaked me out. So he got more blood work. I took him out and here it is Friday. Should have had the results today, possibly Monday. So I guess now we're going to be stuck waiting till Monday. I mean, it's just been one thing after another. I'm just over this week. I'm over 2020, y'all. I'm ready to say, okay, today is officially the year 2021. I'm done with 2020. I'm done. I'm sure everybody else is too. We're all done. Oh my God, I'm sorry. You guys, I'm just rambling on about everything. Sorry. It's just been one of those weeks. And today was just horrible. I've never had that kind of pain. Look, I've had 9 brain surgeries. So, I've been through my share of pain. But this was like, I don't know, it was just like a weird pain. It was very bizarre. So I came home. I took, orthopedic dosage of, ibuprofen or orthopedic. It was like 800 milligrams. And it finally, and then, oh my God, and then I finally rubbed my legs with, icy hot. Finally, after 45 minutes, it started to calm down some to where I wasn't feeling like I needed to just double over crying the entire freaking time. I'm over it, y'all. I'm over it. I'm totally over this year. Hey, Darlene. Hey. Hey, Annie. How are you? Hey, you again. I can't really help you. We're on a live right now and I would have to completely be able to just 100% focus on this and I can't right now. Not to mention, like I said, it's hard to do remotely. Hey, Belskra, how are ya? There's a reward out. They think it was a hit and run. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. This is so weird that you're saying this because today's Friday. So Wednesday night, I was having a hard time getting to sleep. I finally get to sleep. The next thing I know, it's a couple hours later, I have this horrible dream and I wake up. And my dream was about Sloan Bella's son. How bizarre. Wow. And so immediately, I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh. And I mean, I don't even know how I knew that it was her son that I was dreaming about. I just knew. I don't know. But I immediately started like putting it out, and like praying for her and her family to have strength. And yeah, that was so weird. I hope they catch whoever did it. That's so pathetic. That just blows my mind. How can someone, I mean, we've had, I live right outside of DC, and we've had like, hang on guys. I took that ibuprofen and it gives me like dry mouth or whatever. Anyway, so we've had like tons of, really bad hit and runs around here. And I can never figure it out. Like, how can you hit someone and leave them there knowing that they could be hurt, not even dead, just hurt, and like drive away? Like, how do you sleep at night? I don't, we had a diplomat. I forget which country. It was a diplomat's wife, and I don't remember which country she was from. She got like 2 DWIs, and then, excuse me, if I remember the story correctly, she hit like a 21-year-old or something, and I think it was like a 21-year-old guy, and he ultimately ended up dying. Like, he went into the hospital, they thought he was going to be okay, and then he got like an infection or something, and he ended up dying. And they figured out who it was her, and she's a diplomat, and diplomats have immunity, right? So it was like this big long ordeal, and I don't even know to this day, I don't even know if it's been resolved, but I don't know how anyone can lay their head down at night. If you're driving along, I mean, unless, let's be realistic. A lot of these people that do these hit and runs, it's because of alcohol or drugs, but still, you know what I mean? Still, like, even if you're totally drunk, how do you wake up the next morning and notice that your car's all banged up? I don't know, y'all. It's just beyond me. People are pissing me off this week. Oh, thanks, Michelle. I need the healing energy. I need the prayers too, man. As you can see, I'm a little worked up. Julia, things have been going wrong for you too. I feel you. I feel you. Oh, thanks, Pat. Yeah, it just, so my son's clean and sober, and he takes antidepressant medication. And so the doctor is taking him off of that and putting him on something else because he's lost weight, and it's just the medicine he was on was just entirely too strong. So it's like, how can you tell someone that's on antidepressants that you're switching off of that antidepressant? How can you sit there and say, oh, it could be cancer, you could be in liver failure? Like, how do you say that on the phone to somebody? They should have just said, look, we're not sure. It could be, any number of things. Why don't you just come back in? Let's do some more blood work and we'll go from there. Like, that's all they needed to say, right? People, I'm telling you. Sorry, y'all. Been a long one. Right, Darlene? 2020, man. It sucks. Leah, hey, you got the kitten. Oh, Ivy. Oh, I bet she's so cute. Oh. Debbie Light, hey. You're in Arkansas? That's where my hubby's from. My hubby's family lives in Arkansas. They live in Benton? No, they used to be in Bentonville. Rogers? I think maybe they're in Rogers now. I don't know. Somewhere around there. They actually just moved though, so his dad and stepmom just moved. So I'm not sure. They're still in Arkansas. I'm just not sure where. Wow, Ken, really? She didn't have immunity. See, that's what I would think. I would think maybe the person that's the actual diplomat would have immunity. Well, why does her spouse have immunity? Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's just me. You know, our government's so wishy-washy. Oh, that's true, Belskra. It could be that they didn't have insurance. And that's so sad, too. Like, we had a friend, poor woman, I felt so bad for her. She had MS, and she had, like, a van and a lift. And she got hit by this gentleman at, like, 9 o'clock in the morning. He didn't have car insurance. He didn't have a driver's license. He wasn't here legally. So they arrested him. So her insurance would have to pay, you know, uninsured motorists would have to pay for that, right? No kidding, like 3 hours later, she got hit by another lady, by this time it was a woman. No insurance, no driver's license, and she was arrested. You know, I felt so bad for her, like twice in one daggone day. It was just, I felt so bad for her. Wow, Ken, that's crazy. Pat, he said you had the Easter Bunny. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you a story. I was on my way to work. I was 16. A squirrel ran out in front of my car. I hit the squirrel. I pulled over and I grabbed a blanket out of the back of my car and I held onto that squirrel as the poor little thing died, and I was crying hysterically and I felt horrible. And I get to work, right, because I went back home and I put the squirrel in a box so that when I came back after work I could bury it. I get to work and my boss is like, "Where have you been? You're late." You know, and I was like, "I'm so sorry. I hit a squirrel." And he was just like, "You're late because you hit a flippin' squirrel?" I'm like, yeah. And of course, like, my mascara was down my face because I was 16, you know, and I killed a squirrel. Like, you know, some people just don't get it. Oh, Darlene. Oh my goodness. I didn't even think about that. Wow. Yeah, she speaks out a lot against Hollywood, as she should. You know, I applaud her. But that's scary stuff. Like, I get emails all the time like, "Why don't you just tell who, you know, when you connect with Jeffrey Epstein? Why don't you just say the names of people? Why don't you just tell people?" Oh yeah, why don't I just put a gun to my head and kill myself too? Because that's essentially what I would be doing if I were to say name names. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be careful, you know? Yeah. God, I didn't think about that. I hope that's not true. Oh my God, I hope. Oh, Julia, good. Yeah, you know, I was gonna do something else, and I just that poor child. I just felt like I needed to, you know, say what I was getting. Just, I don't know. Oh no, Belska, I'm sorry. Oh my God, thank God you're okay. Gosh, that scared me. My heart was beating. Thank God you're okay. Yeah, no doubt, Pat. Ken, wow, man. Who is this chick? She's causing all kinds of problems. Are you serious, Dee Dee? They couldn't do anything? Well, I mean, I guess that's the same as my friend. They, you know, they arrested each of the drivers because they didn't have a license and all this stuff. But, you know, and then it goes on your insurance, and then your insurance goes through the roof when you didn't even cause it. Like, ugh. Oh my gosh, y'all, see, I'm slacking. I don't have my incense going. I don't have any sage in here. Slacking. Ah, thanks, Pat. Yeah, most people don't understand me. Oh well, that's just life. I'm used to it by now, you know. Come on, really? Incense isn't one to stay lit. Here we go. Burn, baby, burn. Oh my gosh. Oh, really? Are you kidding me? This doesn't even fit. What the heck? Oh, there it goes. Stupid little worthless incense holder thing. Thanks, Ken. I will never forget that man as long as I live. He was just, yeah. Like, his boss came up to me. She was really sweet. She came up to me later and she said, I'm so sorry about the squirrel and everything. She's like, I'm so sorry. You know, she was so sweet about it. But my boss, he was just such a prick. Aw. That's how I am, Belskra. I mean, it just kills me. Like, I don't care if you're a human or an animal. Like, I would never want anyone to die alone. You know what I mean? And Debbie. I feel you, Ken. I just remember after dealing with him, I just went to my office and shut the door. And then his boss, like I said, she came in, you know, later and she was like, are you okay? I'm so sorry. And, you know, but I just stayed in my office all day. I was just like, I didn't want to have to deal with anybody because that, you know, I didn't want to lose my job. Like, especially because my mother had gotten me the job there, you know, like, but of course, you know, I think I did envision like knocking up upside the head or something. Because I usually do that when somebody pisses me off. I walk away and then I think about, how would I'm going to whack the crap out of this person. I do that all the time. It's pretty bad. Oh, that's cool, Debbie. My mother-in-law, she lived on like a pond, excuse me, and people would fly down the road and hit the Canadian geese. And I actually live on a big pond, and people fly down this road and hit the Canadian geese. Burns the crap out of me. My mother-in-law was constantly saving them, and she had a phone number she would call, and she would drive them there. And she saved so many Canadian geese because of, you know, them being hit. Wow. Leah, you know what? My favorite incense is this. It's lavender full moon nag champa. I love this stuff. I'm a huge thing of it. Wow. 90 incense sticks. Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, I just noticed that, Ken. Mine keeps like, my YouTube service keeps coming and going. It's weird. Oh, Pat. Exactly. Oh, your grandmother. Man. Oh, Leah, that's so sad. I don't know. Why do people just senselessly kill things? Yeah, Ken, you're the only monitor. We need you. I want you here, not just because you're the monitor, Ken. Oh my gosh, Michelle. Okay, so it's been hard to find like we eat this one specific type of bread, and the stores have been out of it. So I was like, I'm just going to start baking my own bread. Big mistake. Well, let me tell you. I made the 2 loaves of the Amish sweetbread. So we have this really lovely neighbor, and hubby helped them with their plumbing, like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or something. Something was wrong, and he went over and helped them. And he's always going over there helping them. They're older than we are, and so, you know, hubby will always go over there and help. And so the other day he comes down with this huge plate, and it was homemade pad thai that his wife had made. Holy crap, that stuff was amazing. I mean, it was amazing. And so I was like, well, I can't just let him give us something. We got to give him something. Like, that's how you do it, you know? So I baked that bread. Hubby took down a warm loaf to them. And yeah, anyway. Okay, I don't know how I have stopped myself, because I have wanted to go and get a slice of that bread like probably every hour. But I've had 2 pieces, which is really good, seeing as how I could eat the whole loaf probably in a couple of days by myself. And oh my gosh, it was so amazing. It's still so good. Like, that is the best recipe for bread. A couple weeks ago, I tried to make this one recipe of, it was whole wheat bread. And I don't know what in the heck happened, because it's the same yeast that I used this time. And the yeast, it was working, you know, for the wheat bread that I made. I don't know if maybe, I was thinking maybe I need to get some Vital Wheat gluten, or is that Vital Wheat? I don't know. Anyway, that stuff, whatever it's called, I think I need to get some of that and try the recipe again with that, but it was so good. Well, not that bread. That bread sucked. It was like a big old brick. And I've never had that problem before. I've been baking bread, I don't know, God, for years, probably a lot of years, and I've never had that problem, so... Oh, Ken, okay. Yeah, Michelle, you know what I did? That was so dumb. I took a picture of the dough because I was just so in awe. Okay, so I'm kneading the dough because I do it all by hand, right? So I'm kneading the dough, and I'm like, look at that, because, you know, it finally started coming together. Because, you know, at first it's like, oh my God, this is never going to work, right? And then, you know, science. And so I'm sitting there like, science is so awesome. Science is so awesome, as I knead my bread, right? I'm such a dork. So I took a picture of the dough, and then I was going to take a picture of the loaves, and I totally forgot. You know what, Dee Dee? I had a bread machine. I don't know what I did with it. I'm thinking I do this thing, or I used to do this thing. Unfortunately, COVID took over, where we would load up a 26-foot truck, and we would drive it 6 hours up into like Virginia and the Appalachian Valley. And so me and a friend of mine did this ministry by ourselves, and we would just take, you know, get donations from people. And, you know, the people out there are really poor. A lot of the coal miners have been laid off through the years, and they just don't have anything. So August, we would always take school supplies. Christmas, we would buy presents for all the kids and the adults. We would get donated and purchase school supplies for 400 kids out there. And we've done this every year. And then we would just, you know, several times a year, just collect clothing and stuff and take it out there. So I'm thinking maybe at some point, I wasn't using my bread maker, so maybe I like donated it and took it out there. But yeah, but we haven't been able to do that because of COVID, and it just really sucks, because those poor people, I mean, they have nothing out there, you know. I was telling hubby the other day, like, this is the time of the year when I would be collecting all the donations and, you know, driving it out there. Probably tonight, I probably would have been driving it out there. This is that time, you know. And anyway, I just feel so bad for them. Like, I don't even know what their kids are going to do because they don't even have cell phones out there. They don't have internet coverage. Because my thinking was, oh, don't you just have like a satellite? No, the majority of the kids have never been on a computer before. They don't have cell phones. They don't have cable service. Like they literally watch, DVDs and stuff. I mean, I feel so bad because if it's kind of hard to do at-home learning if you don't have a computer or internet, so I don't know what the heck they're going to do. Ooh, me too, Pat. Me too, Michelle. Amish bread. Oh, that Amish friendship bread, the starter. Oh my gosh, that stuff is so good. I can't even I've got to get it out of my head and just not make bread anymore because I'll just want to eat it all the time. Belsker, that's probably, I knew it had to be something quirky because I don't usually deal with whole wheat bread. So I was like, yeah, it's something I'm going to have to read up on, I guess. There you go, Michelle. Oh, they have double loaf machines now? Wow. Wow. It's been a while because mine was just, little putsy single. Let me see. Yeah. I know, Pat, man, it breaks my heart. I just keep thinking about all those kids. I'm hoping that by Christmas we can, hoping by then we can take out Christmas presents, at least for the kids, Hi, Amanda. Ooh, takeout sounds really good though, Leah. You know what though? So, with all the shutdown stuff, I don't know, nothing sounds good. They finally start opening everything back up and it's I don't know, nothing sounds good. I think it's just because it's that time of the year. It's so hot outside, It's just, although it was 80 degrees today and there was a cool breeze and it was perfect. I was oh my gosh. But then I think by next week it's supposed to be in the high 90s with high humidity and over it. But I did see this thing I don't know, X amount of days till winter, X amount of days till Christmas. And y'all, I don't do cold, so I'm not happy. We didn't have any snow last year, not one. So I'm hoping that that's what happens this year. If we never have snow again here, I will be a happy camper. Michelle, it does make the best toast. Do you know what else? French toast. Holy crap. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow morning for breakfast. That sounds really good. Yeah, I just can't. I don't know. Nothing sounds good anymore. It's I don't know if it's because I'm just tired of the restaurants around here. I don't know. It doesn't sound good. Kid, isn't that the truth though? Every time you turn around, there's a new kitchen gadget out, right? The air fryers, that was the big thing. And then the Instapot, which, let me tell you, my Instapot, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Hubby bought me this really nice air fryer that you can do you can dehydrate, you can do rotisserie. And I feel bad because I didn't really give it a chance, So I just said the other day, I'm I am going to pull that sucker back out and I'm going to learn how to use it. Because it's not just a regular air fryer. You pull the basket out, you put the stuff in, you push the basket back in. This is an actual, huge thing. that's like the size of like a big, one of those huge toaster oven, convection oven things. Excuse me, guys. Hey, DeAndrea. I upload on Mondays and Thursdays. So, and you know what, y'all? I have been so swamped lately. I need to get back to cracking. I've been doing so many like personal readings and stuff, and I'm just swamped. I need to get back on track. And this week, you know, I can't lie. Like this week, I did a lot of slacking. It was a really bad week, and I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. Like, you know, when I'm having weeks like this, I hate to do a bunch of readings because I'm just, you know, it just makes it harder because it's just everything. It's, you know, everything's just 100 times more sad, and you know, so yeah. I know, girls. I love my Instapot too. So you know what? Oh my gosh. Throw your eggs in there, 5 minutes, let it release for 5 minutes, put them in ice water for 5 minutes, and bam, those suckers peel perfectly every time. I tried putting, what is it, baking soda in the water. I tried, take it out and go straight to an ice bath. I tried all that crap, and nothing ever worked for me until I got the Instapot, until I started doing the 5-5-5. And now, man, because I like to make, hubby and I like the Scotch eggs, where you take breakfast sausage and you boil the eggs, and then you put breakfast sausage around it, and then you cook it. So good. And it's such an easy breakfast. And it's like, I'm like really weird about, like, I love leftovers, but there's something about like leftover chicken doesn't taste right to me for some reason. So, you know, I was like, when I started making the Scotch eggs, I was like, I don't know, this is probably going to taste horrible as a leftover. So I'll like do my eggs, and then I'll, you know, like on Sunday, and I'll make the Scotch eggs, and then we'll eat them like, you know, throughout the week. And they don't taste nasty being reheated like I thought they would. Like anything I reheat of chicken just tastes disgusting to me. It just has a certain taste to it. And of course, wouldn't you know, somebody is out mowing their flippin' lawn. What time is it? It's after 8 o'clock, and they're out mowing their daggone lawn. Ay, ay, ay. Ooh, 75 degrees. That sounds nice. Dee Dee, I bet, man. It's been horrible. But I will say, I'm telling you, today was gorgeous. Yeah, stop talking about food. I know, right? I'm getting hungry too. Wow. A soup maker? Oh my gosh, they create so many kitchen gadgets now. It's insane. But you know, one thing I had that I really wish I still had was a pasta maker. I really wish I still had that. I mean, I make them from scratch, and I just, you know, I have no problem making them from scratch and doing them myself. But they're just so much easier with that little machine, to where you just keep running it through, you know? It's just so much easier. That's one thing I wish I had back. Ken, you don't have an oven? Or do you just use like your stovetop for everything? Oh my gosh, D Minor, who are you barking at? Minor! D Minor! Who are you barking at? Ooh, Michelle. Yeah, that's always a good one, to do a whole chicken. That's really good. Debbie, how do you feel spiritually? Will things get better sooner? Are we allowed to talk about that? Yeah, we can talk about anything you want. Spiritually, I feel like SHIT. Only because it's just been a horrible week, but I don't know. I have had this I've had this like horrible feeling for quite a while now. Talked to hubby about it. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know. I feel like I still feel this, like something bad's going to happen. And when I say something bad, I don't mean like, to my family, or I just mean like overall. Like, I had this feeling, like with 9/11, the Paris shootings, the Las Vegas shootings. Yeah, I just feel like something bad is just around the corner, and it's like something really bad. It's like this overwhelming, just this overwhelming feeling of doom. And, I'm not a depressive person. I'm not a depressed person. I'm a very upbeat person. Even though I deal with death all the time, I think, I go out of my way to be an upbeat person. Like, I make sure to keep myself mentally okay, because I know how easy it would be, to not be okay. Yeah, it just, I can't describe it. I mean, I don't know. And I don't feel like it's just like, because at first I was like, maybe it's gloom and doom as far as like, the presidential election here in the States. I don't do politics, but but it's not that. It feels like it's like all over, like not just one area. I don't know how to explain it. And I can't put my finger on it. I just get this feeling, and I just get this feeling, and I know. And it's like it's always sitting like right here, and I'm like, okay. And as days go on, I'm like, okay, it didn't happen today. It didn't happen. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm hoping I ultimately end up having dreams like I had with 9/11 and with the Vegas shooting and all that. I got this feeling, and I had it for a long time, and then I had the dreams. So yeah, I'm hoping maybe I'll know a little more, CPO. There's no specific historical time period. I love history. I always have. I do think, though, like I'm really interested in the Civil War. That's one thing I went to Petersburg, Virginia, and there's so much history there with the Civil War, and it's just such a cool place. Like I could live there. It's such a cool place. Like Savannah. I could live in Savannah or Salem, where the Salem witch trials happen and stuff. You guys, I have that like mush mouth feeling. That stupid medicine. That's how it is here in this neighborhood. Somebody is always flipping mowing the damn lawn. It's like, and it's always when I'm trying to record too. It's like, come on, really? Let's see. You know what? Hold on, y'all, I'm having a hard time keeping up because I'm running my mouse so daggone much. Oh, Belscra, I could not live there. I don't know. I don't think it's the virus. I don't think that's what it is. Hey, Debbie, Raj, how you doing, girl? I don't think that's what it is. And are we ever going to go back to normal? It's probably not. We're probably always going to have a new normal. But, it's kind of like, every year people get their flu shot, and then it doesn't cover all the strains of flu. and people still get the flu. So I kind of feel like, that's the way this COVID stuff's going to be. Like, I'm sure COVID-20 is going to, rear its ugly head at some point in the future. I don't think it's ever going to be 100% back to, quote, normal, but I do think I think everything will calm down. I didn't feel that way, though. I didn't feel that way like a few months ago, honestly, because I was having this overwhelming doom feeling like right here, and I kept thinking it was, it had something to do with COVID, but I totally don't think that's what it is. I don't think it has anything to do with COVID. Oh my gosh, Ken, you're talking about you guys, Beirut. God, that was so sad. Holy crap. I mean, I just heard like earlier, there's 150 dead now, but there's still some people missing that were right there by where their grain storage was. There were, I guess they had found some people's bodies. But then there was another part where they said there was like a tunnel, and it, from what they could tell, if the people were there, they could have gotten down there and they could be safe. I haven't heard if they've found anybody yet, but that's just so damn sad. I mean, And then earlier today, gosh, what plane was it? Was it Air Asia or something? It went off the runway and broke into two pieces. I was like, oh my gosh. Ugh. All that stuff just breaks my heart. Hubby, are you here? Oh, you better not tell me you're the one out there mowing. I think that's my husband out there mowing. Are you kidding me? Oh, Julia, honey, you're not a depressive person. We all have our, like, quirks. I mean, Oh, Debbie, no, so I have another really good friend who,
That is not me.
Oh, it's not you. Oh my gosh, I thought it was you because I yelled for you. I didn't hear you, and I'm like, don't even tell me that's my husband out there mowing.
No, my son will be doing my lawn.
Oh, your son doesn't even live here anymore. Okay, it wasn't hubby who was mowing. I thought it was my husband. Yeah, so I have a friend. She has gifts. Not exactly like what I have, but, she has that, like, she and I have this thing where, I'll get a text message from her, or she'll pop into my head and I'll text her, and I don't know, we're just like simpatico. We're like on the same wavelength, and when something's wrong, I can feel it, and vice versa. And she and I were talking about it, and she was saying she was getting the same feeling, and that this horrible feeling that something bad's going to happen. Wow, Northeast Ohio. 7 months of snow. Holy crap, no thank you. Oh, did I ask? Are you talking about if I asked other psychics about that feeling? Yeah, I have. I've talked to a couple, and everybody's got it right now. I mean, wow, you guys, you're typing too fast. I can't keep up. Yeah, Julia, that really gets to me too. I understand that a lot of these statues are offensive. I get that, okay? So take the statues and, like, put them in a museum or something, but don't destroy them and, vandalize them. Like, I don't have time for that kind of crap. Habanero peach chicken wings. You know what? It sounds really good, but I do not like chicken wings. I am a weird person, and I have never liked chicken wings. We like you to run your mouth. No, you came to the right place. I'm always running my mouth. Are you kidding? Oh, let me tell you something funny. Okay, so I don't do politics or whatever, but this was so mean too. After I said it, I was like, probably shouldn't have said that. So I got stuck behind the train. So I'm sitting at the train, and there is an older lady and man next to me in the car, and they kind of acknowledged me, and I acknowledged them. And I had my window down because it was a nice day today, and they had a Joe Biden 2020 sticker on their car. And I'd seen it when they passed me earlier. And I said, hey, did you hear that Joe Biden isn't running anymore? And the woman was like, really? What? And I said, oh yeah, he's stuck in his basement. He can't figure out how to get out. Sorry. That's so sad. After I said it, I was like, I probably shouldn't have said that. But y'all, the struggle is real. Like, I think Joe Biden has dementia. And the thing that really irks the crap out of me is I saw clips. Like, it came up on, when I was in YouTube, it came up, and I clicked on it. I was bored or whatever. And it was all these clips of him, like, getting confused. And, like, a bunch of them, his wife was sitting next to him. And so I'm sitting there like, you know what? She should have her butt kicked. Because she's a doctor, for God's sake. She's got her, like, doctorate. I just went offline again. That's so weird. So she's got, like, a doctorate. And she's sitting there realizing that her husband is slipping. He was really struggling. And my thing is, you know what, lady? Like, you as his wife of all these years, you should be saying, no, you're not running for president because you're slipping. And I mean, I hate to say that, but the poor guy's got health issues. Like, when is somebody going to step up and say, this poor man does not need to be running for president. He needs to be taking care of his health, It just irks the crap out of me. God, y'all, I'm drinking so much tonight. Hi, Dawn. Yeah, exactly. It is our perception of normal. You know what, Pat, are they saying it was an accident or terrorist attack? Originally, they said it was an accident, but you know what I just heard earlier? So apparently they said that it was, they had confiscated it from a Russian Freightliner. All this, what do you call it? I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, it was sitting in this thing, and I guess over the last 7 years, people have been like, hey, we really need to get that stuff somewhere where it's safe and protected. Anyway, so they're getting like something from the French, what do you call it? Satellite images from France to see if there was a plane in the area, because they think they're thinking now maybe it was intentionally set off. And that's what caused the explosion. So I don't know, but any way you cut it, whether it was intentional or accidental, even if it was accidental, how could the government allow that stuff to sit there like that, knowing that it was just wall to wall? Who is mowing their freaking yard? It's like dark out and they're out there freaking mowing. Knowing that all these people, work there and live there. Like, it's just insane. Oh, it's insane. Oh, Leah, you live near Salem? That would be fun. Actually, some friends of ours were heading to Savannah tonight. And I was like, oh, man, I want to go. Ooh, 101 to 109. Daggone. Hey, Shelly, how are you, girl? Every time I see your name, I think of my best friend. She spells her name the same way, so I'm always like... Yeah. Raw Edge, you're such a sweetie. You know what, Darlene? I feel the same way. I mean, that is our history, and we don't ever want to get back to that point again, So I'm so frustrated over this crap, I'll tell you. It's just frustrating. Oh, good for you, Ken. You're getting a new kitchen. Hubby and I are, we're painting our house. Oh my God. But like my next big thing is I'm going to paint my kitchen cabinets. And that's like a big undertaking. And I'm dreading it. I'm envisioning my entire house is just going to be torn up for the next like 5 years or something. Darlene, yeah, I get that feeling that it's all about the vice president. And the sad thing is that they know that they can control this poor guy. It just breaks my heart. Like, yeah, we're screwed. Any way you look at it. Yeah. Yep. I know, Ken, that's exactly was my sentiment. If in fact it was an accident, it really wasn't an accident because the government had no business storing toxic chemicals that amount of toxic chemicals. And they were saying, like, this scientist, he was like, even if these people, with the initial explosion, if it threw them and they were buried by the grain and stuff, he said most likely either they would have suffocated because of the amount of grain or they would have inhaled enough of those toxic chemicals that how could they live through it? So then my feeling was, well, why are they thinking that these people are in this little tunnel at the bottom? I don't know. I guess they have reason to believe that people are alive down there, but I don't know. It's just scary. Did y'all see the bride? She was getting her pictures taken. I saw that and it just broke my heart. I mean, she was so beautiful and she's getting, these gorgeous pictures taken and then the explosion happened. And I just felt so bad for her. And it's like she said, okay, now it's no longer about me getting married. Now it's about all these people that have died. I just felt so bad for her. It's like, oh man. Gosh, I cannot get enough to drink. I feel like I'm dehydrated. Is that now what presidency is all about? A front man that can control. That's why Trump is not popular. He cannot be controlled, hence bad. Exactly, Ken. That's exactly what it is like him or hate him, he's our president, and he says what he wants to say. Nobody can stop him. His kids, I'm sure, have tried to shut him up. I feel like they need to take his Twitter account away because he runs off the mouth so bad. But the sad reality is, in Biden's case, that's exactly what it's about. We'll get him in there and we'll get someone good as the VP, and then the VP will be the one in charge. It's just sad. Ooh, Debbie, you live in a haunted house. That would be so cool. Do you have cool stuff that happens there? Oh yeah, Pat, the bride's fine. Literally, it just kind of like threw her a little bit and stuff fell around her, but thankfully she didn't get hurt. But did you see that poor woman? She was in labor. Oh my God. They were literally pushing her into the room. She was in the middle of labor when something just came, when the explosion happened, it just literally came through the wall. And the doctor and the nurse and the technician just got thrown against the wall, the other wall. I mean, the impact was just unreal. They kept showing the baby, that the baby was okay, but they never did show the mom. So I was like, oh my gosh, did the mom live? Like, I still don't know if this poor woman lived or not. I just can't, I can't imagine. Yeah, exactly, Darlene. She was just like, what the heck happened? I mean, I would have been the same way. I would have been like, what? You know, it was scary. Yeah, Trump is very much off the wall. But you know, look, I don't do politics. I always say that. But I will say this, you know, my husband's a vet and I have nothing but the utmost respect for veterans. And the one thing I really like about Trump is that, you know, he always tries to put our veterans up there first. You know, he tries. And do I like what he says? Nope. You know, he drives me insane. I'm like, I wish the guy would just shut up. Like, he just drives me nuts. But it's like, you know what? Here's how I look at it. I don't care who the president is, you know. I'm from the United States of America and I love my country. And, you know, so therefore I'm going to respect my president. You know, I don't care who the president is. I'm going to respect my president because I feel like that's my duty. You know, I live in this country and I love this country. And why, if I can't respect my president, then I shouldn't be here. You know, that's kind of how I look at it. I don't know. Yeah, Cindy, he keeps saying that it's going to be, that he's going to name a woman. I think it's that Kamala Harris lady. Oh, Debbie. Oh, your mom passed. I'm sorry to hear that. Mm. Darlene, I know, right? You know, they showed that satellite picture of where the explosion happened, and, you know, it's all there. And then after the explosion, it literally just fell into the ocean, like just this huge gaping hole. It was crazy. Yeah, our veterans do deserve respect. Yeah, that's really cool, Debbie. That's so cool. I've been into some really cool houses that were, quote, haunted. You know, it's just cool. I just, that's something I would love. Like, what is that? Gosh, I can't even think of where it's located now. What am I trying to think of? It's right on the tip of my tongue. The house that's so haunted and it's vacant. It's been vacant for years. Nobody will move into it. I want to go stay there. I want to go stay there for like 2 weeks. I would love to go and stay there for 2 weeks and see everything that goes on there. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, I would definitely go stay there for 2 weeks. I went to so my sister and I, we do these like, you know, just little trips together and stuff. And so I went out to Kansas City and she and I drove to, I think we were driving to Topeka, Kansas. And somewhere in between Casey and Topeka, she lives in Casey, Missouri. So she's on the Missouri side. But anyway, we went to this haunted house. Okay. And they actually do like guided tours at this haunted house. But I'm kind of like, when people say, oh, yeah, you got to pay money and do the guided tour, I kind of feel like, you know what, if you need me to pay money here, let me just pay the money and just like leave me alone and let me walk through myself. Like, I don't want you to tell me about what's going on here. I want to figure out what's going on here, you know? Anyway, so I don't know. We ended up missing the guy. And so we pulled up. We missed the guy. He had already left. And so I told my sister, I felt like I was being drawn to the house. I felt drawn to the house. So we're sitting there and my sister's like, I don't know, I already feel weird. Like, I don't know about all this. And she doesn't have the gifts like I do. So she was like, I don't know about all this. And I was like, come on, we'll be fine. So we're talking, all of a sudden this guy appears out of nowhere. Okay, so it's in like a neighborhood. We're parked on the street out front of the house. And the neighborhood, the way it was like a one-way street. So you could only be parked facing this way or going this way, right? So we're sitting there and all of a sudden this guy appears out of nowhere. I'm like, I looked at my sister and we were both talking and looking straight ahead the whole time. I said, where the heck did he come from? She's like, I don't know. Okay, so we're sitting there, and then he like walks towards, so he's in the middle of the road. So he walks, comes over, gets on the sidewalk, and walks like right up to where I was in the car and just stops and looks at me. And then turns and looks and keeps walking, right? So I'm talking to my sister, and I was like, I had this horrible feeling, and I was just like, I don't know. And then, so my sister's watching in the rearview mirror, watching him, because we're at this point, I'm thinking this guy's going to come back and try to like break in our car or something. Like, he freaked me out. I don't know what it was, but it was freaky. Anyway, she's looking in the rearview mirror, and she's like, where the hell did he go? And I'm like, what? And I would turn around, she's like, I was just watching him. And I could see her. She was watching the rearview mirror. She's like, where the hell did he go? So we literally get out of the car and we go up there, because he disappeared like at the house past the haunted one. So we're looking, we could never find the guy. I swear, we never found the guy. Like, I don't know, it was bizarre. Anyway, so my sister was all shaken up. And so she literally was like behind me, and we were walking up there. And I kept being drawn to like this one window, which was on like the end of the house, right? And so I was like walking back and forth, like pacing. Okay, so like on their little gravel driveway, I was pacing because I was trying to see what I could get. And I'm just pacing. And I kept being drawn to this window, but it was like up on the second story. And then I actually heard somebody say, come around back, right? And I remember I looked at my sister and I'm like, did you hear him? And she's like, did I hear him who? I'm like, the guy told us to come around back. And she's like, oh, really? I didn't hear anybody say anything. So we walk around back, and like, you walk down their little gravel driveway thing, and then you walk up like 4 little steps and go onto like this back deck thing. And we walk over, and I don't know what it was. I didn't physically hear anybody at this point after I heard him initially say to come around back. But I was drawn to the door. So I go to the door. Well, the door was unlocked. And I was going to go inside. But then I was like, great. It would be my luck that one of the neighbors saw us and they would call the police and I would get arrested, right? So I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that. No, heck no, I can't do that. So I pulled the door back shut really quick and I said, come on, let's just walk back around here. And so I walk around and we end up going, I start walking into the front yard because I was going to go up to the front door at this point. And she started walking back to the car. And so I went over and I walked up on to the front like patio area. And clear as day, I saw a man in the window right there. And I was like, hey, to my sister, and she turns around and I'm like, did you just see him? And she's like, see who? What are you talking about? I was like losing my mind. She's like, I don't see anybody. She's like, this is too freaking scary. And so I walked back over to the car, but I kept being drawn to that upper window. I don't know what it was. Anyway, so we're sitting there and I was like, just sit here for a second. I'm just trying to see if I can get anything else. So we're just sitting there and I'm just like looking at the house. And then there's the guy's face again. My sister's looking at the house. My sister doesn't freaking see it. So I don't know. There was something about this guy. Ultimately, so like 2 hours later, after we were past that town, the guy who we were supposed to meet calls my phone, calls her back, and so I said, just out of curiosity, is there some guy that lives there that's probably like 40, 50 years old with dark hair, like a receding hairline, and wears glasses? And he was like, ma'am, nobody's technically lived in the house for years. And I was like, okay. So I paused for a second. I don't know why I was surprised. I should have known better. But, because my sister couldn't see, I kept like, I don't know. Anyway, so I paused for a minute and he said, you know what, though? You're describing what a lot of people have described as this man. And he said, I don't know, I can't even remember the guy's name now, but he said the guy's name and he said he was the original owner of the house. He's the one that actually built the house. And there was some kind of murder, like he murdered someone or something and ended up going to prison or something. So he gave me his name, and so I wrote it down. And then, so when we get out to Topeka, we get to the hotel, I looked it up, and sure enough, like, this guy hadn't just been involved in a, quote, murder. This guy had killed his wife and his 2 kids and the family dog, and he had buried them in a crawl space of their house. And I guess his wife's mom kept coming by the house, you know, trying to see her daughter and her grandkids. And one of the neighbors apparently finally smelled a smell or something. And that's the only way that they found it. And he had taken off, and they ended up arresting him like years later. I mean, just real POS guy. But yeah, it was weird. It was just weird. And I wish I could remember his name. I'll have to see if I can figure out his name and everything, because it was a really like bizarre story. Like, there was a lot more to it, but yeah, it's crazy. Oh yeah. Sorry. Thanks, Ken. It's this house. Gosh, I can't remember the daggone name of the town. It was like, we were like 2 hours past Kansas City, headed to Topeka. I don't know. I ultimately found it really easily on Google. Like, after the guy said something about it, I Googled it. Ooh, wow, Ken, really? I gotta write this bad boy down. Ghosts of Carmel, Maine. Caramel. Not like I have time to watch any more YouTube videos, but I want to write it down anyway. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. Let's see. My best friend lives in a haunted house. I saw the dark guide. My grandson said, little boy in the hallway wanted to play. Friend moved the guy that moved in, stayed 2 weeks and moved. Wow, Darlene, that's pretty wild. That's really wild. Dawn. Yeah, I want to get back into ghost hunting. The problem is everything out here is like, you know, it's not easy to get into. And unfortunately, a lot of the places, the typical places that people like to ghost hunt out in this area, you have to pay. You know, you have to pay for the privilege to go in and spend the night or whatever. So, you know, it's not cheap, but I love ghost hunting though. I mean, I've always been the type of person that, you know, I've seen so many scary movies, and I'm the one in the movie theater that when something scary happens and everybody else screams, I bust out laughing. Like, you know, it's hard to find a movie that scares me. Like, they don't really scare me, you know, so I don't really get scared, you know. And I'll tell you, the times that I do get scared is if I'm somewhere and I know that there's like a malicious, you know, there's a spirit that has like malicious intent or something, then I get scared. But I only get scared in that my heart, you know, races and my adrenaline goes nuts, but I don't really cower or shy away. Like, I'm the first person that'll like go forward, you know. Yeah. I often wondered, like, would I be like that if I didn't have these gifts? I don't know. Let's see. Do you have the freckle on the inside of your arm? They say that people who have abilities or were witches in a past life. Really? I don't know. I have a freckle right there. I don't know. I've always had that big freckle right there. I don't know. I have a freckle right there. I have a freckle under here. I don't know. I never heard that. That's wild. Never heard that. Ella, maybe. What are you doing, kitty? I hear you out there. Arlene, oh my goodness. Oh yeah, you guys definitely, you like paranormal, go to Raw Edge Paranormal. She's awesome. She rocks. Ken, I will definitely let you know. That's really cool. We definitely, you know what, that would be so cool. Once all this COVID crap calms down, it would be so cool to like everybody to meet at some particular area and go ghost hunting together. We would have so much fun. Oh my gosh. That would be fun. The problem is like, there's a, oh my gosh, it just went completely blank. There's an insane asylum, I think on the Maryland side. You can't, so they've redone it. Before, paranormal groups could just go straight to it, but now they have like a guard gate and they have guards that walk around with flashlights and stuff. But I do know like my son and his friends have snuck in there. The other thing, which is really cool, on the Virginia side, there's a place called Lorton, and it used to be the Lorton prison where they would send all of the men from Washington, D.C. would go there to prison. So when my son was younger, they did, he had like a traveling baseball team and they met there. There was actually a baseball field, and it was the baseball field that the prisoners at the prison had a baseball team, and they would actually invite other prison teams to come and they would play baseball, right? So my son was playing there. So what I would do is, so the baseball field was like down here, right? And then there was like a wall of earth. And then up here, back behind, is where the prison was. Well, the kids were constantly hitting foul balls up by where the prison was. So I would just stand up there. And whenever a foul ball came up, I would get it and throw it back down. So, excuse me, whenever they practiced or played, I would always just, you know, do that. Well, so they still had like, at that point they were talking about, they had like, I don't even know what to call them, but they were like, you know, buildings, and each building had, you know, so many cells in it and all that. And so they still had the buildings there, and they were talking about turning each one of those buildings into like a little indoor shopping mall. So like there would be a bunch of different stores in the one building, and then the next building, and the next. Anyway, so there was death row, okay? And everybody, they still had all the guard gates there, right? It's the barbed wire, all that was pretty much in the same, located everywhere. So anyway, I don't know, it was probably 8 o'clock one night, and I was up there waiting on foul balls to come, and all of a sudden I started hearing a bunch of commotion. And I'm looking over, and, you know, so I'm looking this way. The games, they're down here. I'm looking this way because I'm hearing this commotion. Well, there's nothing around there for a ways, you know, except the prison, you know. I keep looking, and I'm hearing guys, and it sounds like guys are like fighting. And I'm thinking, there's no way there are kids or guys out here, because there's still guards that guard this place to keep everybody out, right? Because it's, quote, had become private property. So I'm up there and I'm catching these foul balls and I'm throwing it down, and I'm hearing these guys like fighting or arguing or something. So finally I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna walk over there. Okay, so you can only walk so far, and then there's like, you know, this huge fence and these huge thick gates, you know, because it was a prison. So I couldn't even like get in through the gate to get over there to see what it was. So I said, I'm just going to stand over here. So I stood at the gate, which was like 200 yards from where I had been catching foul balls, right? So I'm standing there, and you can hear, all of a sudden you can hear clear as day. I could hear, all of a sudden it was like bam, 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 bam. It sounded like cell doors slamming. And it was like one right after the other, right after the other, right after the other, like in sync, right? I was like, holy crap, you know. And it was just like coming from this one building. There were like, the building it was coming from was like death row. So there was a building here, here, here. So there was 1, 2, 3 here, a building here, then death row, then another building, and then there's like 6 other buildings back here. And it was coming, you could tell the door slamming and the guys that were like talking and yelling. It was coming from death row. It was so bizarre. So anyway, the head coach guy that got permission to play there that night, I went up to him and I said, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I heard. And he immediately said, oh, okay. He said, I know what you heard. So supposedly everybody hears it at, I think it happened at 8 o'clock or 8:30. He said what he was told is that when the prison was open, death row in their little like building, they were allowed to like come out and sit together and watch TV together as long as they were, you know, on good behavior or whatever. They could go out and sit, and then they had to go back into their cells, and then each cell would lock like one right after the other. And I was like, that's exactly what I heard. And I was telling him I heard the guys fighting. He's like, oh yeah, people hear that all the time. I was like, wow. But I was pissed because I couldn't get anything. I didn't, you know, I was like, damn, I couldn't get anything. So we actually, years later, we drove back over there because I wanted to see if we could get inside of any of the buildings. But of course, there were guards there and everything, and we couldn't. But the place is really cool. And there were a lot of like jailbreaks. In fact, there are these 3 houses that are down and around the corner from the jail. And the houses have been there for years. And supposedly 2 convicts escaped, went there and held this little old lady and man, husband and wife, hostage. Held them hostage and like tormented them for like 7 days. Somehow they were caught. I can't remember the story of how they were caught, but yeah, it was scary. Yeah. Oh, Belsker, you have them too? That's so wild. I'd never heard that. Yeah, Julia, I think hubby knows how to do that, how to save it. I don't know how to do it, but he knows. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Ra. I love you, girl. That would be so cool to do it. As soon as this COVID stuff calms down, we should all like plan a trip. But it's, you know, it's so daggone expensive to travel anywhere. I'm supposed to be going to Vegas, I don't know, September 20 something with my sister. We're supposed to meet there. And like every time I turn around, I'm getting a new email saying that my flight's changed. So initially I was supposed to get into Vegas at like 9 o'clock in the morning. Then they pushed it all the way to like 12 o'clock noon. Now it's back to 11 o'clock. They're doing the same thing to my sister. So I guess my sister gets in at like 10:30 and I get in at 11, unless it changes another 100 times. But I don't even know if we can go because with COVID, I don't know what's going to happen in Vegas and who knows. So I may not even be going anywhere. But, you know, we thought, oh, everything will be fine by September. You know, who knew? I'm a psychic. I should have known these things, but my love of Vegas overtook it. No, my love of my sister overtook that. Ooh, Roswell, Georgia, I bet. I bet that was cool. Yeah, I really want to go to Savannah. I would absolutely, positively love to go to Savannah. That would be so cool. Aw, Raw, we'd miss you. I would love to, I want to go overseas, but you know, I want to go to Vegas too in September, but I don't want to die either. So we'll see. Oh, wow, Darlene, really? Wow. Where is this at, Darlene? There you go, Debbie. Ghost Trip 2121. Let's all go to Scotland. Let's go see Ken in Scotland. I bet they have some beautiful places there. Oh, yeah, you're in Australia. Oh, Australia. My hubby lived there for a couple of years. I would love to move to Australia. What in the heck, y'all? Oh, delivery truck. Maybe they're coming here. I bought my son's girlfriend's daughter a pair of shoes for her birthday. Some pair of shoes she really wanted, so. Pat Carlson, are you talking about me being fearless? I'm not fearless. Just that kind of stuff. I don't know. I love it. Exactly. It is your norm. That's, you know. Oh my gosh, Darlene. That's crazy. Wow. Waycross, Georgia. Wow. Aw, thanks, Raw. That's so cool. Yeah, he was like, he had a bunch of Aborigine friends, and I think he lives like Alice Springs, I think, or something. I don't know. Pat Carlson, that would be hard. I know, after my dad passed, my mom had a really hard time learning how to sleep alone. Oh my gosh, D-Miner, what are you barking at? There she goes. I thought she stopped. You guys, I'm so glad I did this live tonight. It was kind of like a part of me that almost didn't do it because, I've just been having a crappy day and crappy week, and I'm glad I did. Oh, you're in Victoria. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that was back when hubby lived out there. His stepdad was CIA. His stepdad was like CIA, so. Good night, Darlene. Thanks for coming by, girl. Yeah, be safe out there with all those wackadoos running loose from the prison. Me too, Julia. Oh, to sleep in an empty house. I bet. Yeah, whenever, part of my hubby's job is that, he travels all the time. I'm just so grateful that he's not had to travel lately, but it's hard to get adjusted. Like when he's gone, it's really hard. It's hard to sleep, It's definitely hard to sleep. Oh my gosh, you guys, I feel like I'm dehydrated. It's weird. So, you guys, let me tell you this. So, have any of y'all ever heard of Monet hair products? Good night, CPO. Bye. So, a friend of mine sells Monet hair products, and my hair has literally been falling out handfuls, right? And I'd been on Monet before. So anyway, she texted me and she's like, "Why are you not on Monet?" And I said, "Because it's too daggone expensive." And so she sold it to me at her cost, which was so awesome. Anyway, so, excuse me, I've only used it twice now, and excuse me, My hair's not falling out in chunks anymore. And my sister's been on it for like 3 years, and she had like these horrible like bald spots. And you know, she said it's because she straightened her hair so much back in like the late 70s and 80s. And anyway, so she started doing Monet, and her hair like came in. There's no bald spots anymore. It's totally filled in. It's amazing stuff. So if y'all have problems with like your hair thinning out or losing your hair or whatever, I mean, just the products are all natural. And like what I noticed is I even like my hair's not frizzy like it normally is, you know, it like really, my hair does really well on it. And you know, it used to be my hair was like so frizzy all the time. Stuff is awesome. I'm telling you, it is so expensive. But really, you know, the cheap stuff, like you have to use a lot of it. With Monet, you use like that much. You know, for all my hair, I use like that much. The more water you add to it, the better it is. So really a bottle lasts a long time, but the stuff is amazing. Like I love this stuff. I absolutely love it. Like for it to grow, it's M-O-N-A-T, Ken. M-O-N-A-T, yeah. And I'm telling you, I saw it with my own eyes, my sister's hair. She had tried like every kind of product and it just, nothing worked. And she's been on this Monet, and her hairdresser is like, oh my gosh, this stuff is amazing, you know? So it's really good stuff. It's Monet, M-O-N-A-T. You just have to find like a representative near you. I think you can just go on their website. I don't even know their daggone website. I think it's monet.com or M-O-N-A-T or monethair.com or something. I don't know. I probably should have known all that, huh? But it's the products, I'm telling you, like they have products for see, Julia, that's just normal, right? But yeah, Ken, M-O-N-A-T, yep. But I'm telling you, like, you literally pour like the size of a dime in the palm of your hands, get your hair really wet first, put it on there, and then even let more water get on it, and the better it does. Like, that's how they tell you to do it. And like, I'm on the products that are for thinning hair, like to grow thicker and to grow more hair. But then they have products that are just for like, you know, if you have dry hair or if you have curly hair. They have really cool curly hair, like not gel, but like products for curly hair. And I mean, she posts these before and after pictures. I'm like, holy crap. And you know what? I would have never, ever thought, you know, that this stuff would be that good. But even, I'm telling you, I used it one time, and you know, usually my hair, I got really bad split ends. I need my hair cut, but usually my hair is like really, really frizzy. The stuff is awesome. It really works well. I really like the stuff. And you just use a little bit, like you only need a really tiny bit. Aw, thanks, Dawn. Yeah, I like our little group. Like, you know, I was thinking about it the other day. And if I were ever blessed enough to have like, you know, 1 million followers or something, I don't know. I like our little cozy group, you know? I like our little cozy group. Like, you know, I've come to love everybody, and yeah, everybody here is so cool and so supportive, and they, you know, back everybody up and back each other up. And I love that about everybody, you know? I really do. All right, y'all. On that happy note, I think I'm going to go. I have my nephew's 30th birthday party tomorrow night. 30th birthday party. I'm like, what? My gosh, we're so old. His wife's throwing it for him, and I can't believe he's 30, y'all. It just blows my ever-loving mind. Like, I can't. So I got him, we ordered him like this golf stuff because he's like really big into golfing. And we have his party tomorrow night and need to run a bunch of errands tomorrow. But at least I get to see my son and his girlfriend tomorrow. So that'll be fun. So, yep, Dawn, Pat, I agree. Oh, yeah, Ross, Saturday morning for you. And for our lovely Ken, too, because Ken is such a trooper that she comes on here in the middle of the night. Ken, yes. I love Ken. She's like the best moderator. And Ken, maybe one day I can afford to actually pay you because you do such a great job and I love you to death. Nah. I want to try to, I think I might change it up a little bit, like every now and then, and do it like on a Saturday afternoon or something because, you know, poor Ken, it's the middle of the night for her. And Raw too, you know, y'all, it's the middle of the night. You do, Ken. Thank you so much. Night, everybody. I can't wait till next week already. I'm excited about next week. Bye, guys. Have a good one. Wait, that about does it for me. Bye, guys.